everyone. It is time to continue on with our Mix In Cake Day, or not Cake Day, Freshly Baked card making workshop. So this is the second one, showcasing a different variation of cards after using the card kit. So we are on to our fourth card. We created 3 cards, right? I can't find them. But yes, we did 3 cards. So let's get started here. So again, in your kit, you get this value pack of cards and envelopes. And we're playing with the Seabrook as a background. And so this is a 4 by 5 1/4. So we're just going to anchor that down. And this is just giving you some options that you don't have to make all 12 cards of that pattern that comes in the kit. Then I have a piece of mix-ins, and so this one is 3 3/4 by 5. So again, it's just a 1/4 inch down. And we're just going to lay that on top. And then I want to make sure, and I'm going to go ahead and here, this is mist, and this piece is 2 1/4 by 3 3/4. So it doesn't go to the end of our it stays within the patterned paper. So that's the cut for this. And so just like that. Then I have a piece of scarlet, which is a 1 by 5 1/2. And this, I was like, oh, it's okay, but I thought about using an embossing folder for a texture, and I thought, well, let's put a little shimmer, because you know I like a little shimmer. So this is our shimmer trim, and I am just going to leave a small edge showing. So just a little trim. Now, if you haven't been to one of my classes in a while, you know shimmer trim is hard to get it peeled off. So I always leave, I know that's hard to see. I don't know where to show it to you. Maybe here. Can you see that? Yeah. I always leave a little tail on my shimmer trim so it's easier to peel back and work with. So let's adhere this to our page. And it looks like I'm a little bit long on one end, so I'm just going to trim it off. And this goes card base to card base, if that makes sense. And that doesn't look straight. Let's put it here where I have a grid. Okay. Yep. Card base, card base. This is, again, is a Seabrook, and I'm going to use the lighter side. And I am, this is second generation and first generation, and I am using the November stamp of the month. I will be honest, I was like, wow, I don't know, but there are some cool things that are coming to you via this product, this stamp of the month product this month, because I've just seen some amazing artwork from different people. You remember, if you're a VIP and you place a $50 order, you get this for free. And that is every month with the stamp of the month. So I took the Mist ink, which is this paper here, and I stamped the image, I inked the image, stamped it on a piece of scratch paper, and then stamped it. And what's really cool about this stamp, you can kind of line up a middle on the edge so it's equal if you going for that. And then I just took the small snowflake that's on there, and again, second generation, so stamped it on scratch paper and then stamped it on my cardstock. I took the Mist ink and sponged the edges, and then I put the sentiment, which is also part of this stamp set, in first generation. So you have that little dual tone going. And then we're going to just mount this on the Seabrook. And I forgot to tell you, so the Seabrook is 2.5 by 3. So 2.5 by 3. And so that would be 2.25 by 2 3/4 for the sentiment. And we're just, again, I'm just doing these flush. I definitely could have done these with foam tape. It's just, when I make cards, I try not to give too much bulk to them, but you definitely can add your bulk if you like the foam, or you're giving them with a gift, whatever works for your style of card. I really think popping up would make it very pretty. And then I'm just going to take a couple just to carry this theme of the silver. And actually, I was going to put, oops, stuck to my finger. I mean, you could put these in here. I think it's a little bit much with the silver. But maybe you like a little more bling, you definitely can use it that way. So, to find the card, so this is one I created without, right? They didn't have, I'm looking for my catalog, I'm sorry. Yes, this one is just a different version of a card out of our programs. So it's ready to go, and actually that's a stunning, super fun, super way to use up scrap B&T and cardstock for the holidays. What a nice card. That's awesome. Okay, let's move on to the next card, which we are creating with. And again, our base here, and again, this time we are using the mix-in again. So this is, the other side is a diagonal. This is just a stripe on stripe. So just attach that. So it must be a 4 by 5 1/4. And the one I'm doing is a pattern that's in your book or in your kit handout. It's one of the freshly baked ones. It's just my version of it. And then this time we are building, and I don't know if you can see, but this is the lighter side, this is the darker side. And I'm just putting the two together. And because I wanted to use Seabrook and I knew I was doing a white insert, I wanted to make sure that the dark was underneath the white so that it would stand out. Does that make sense? Okay, and then, is that me? Nope, they are off. Does that bother you guys too when things are a little hinky? And you're like, oh, gotta fix that. I can't work with that. That's what happens when you pull it off when I'm using the tape I'm using, because it's really not a repositionable, but if you get it fast enough, you can get it up. But it will leave a little hang there. How about that? And then I'm going to use this stamp set and this stamp set. This is the Greetings, Flourish Greetings, Flourish Layers. And these stamp sets are in the core book, and it's a fun stamp set. There's lots you can do with that. And so I wanted to make sure that you saw how easy it is to play with this. I didn't think about this part. I think I am going to, let me see if I like the Seabrook, if it's going to be dark enough for what I want. Oh, yep, I think it will be just fine. I don't want the red because I think the red will be, the scarlet will be too contrasting. Does that make sense? Ooh, that's pretty. Ooh, I love that look. I like that. Seabrook's a pretty color. It's probably not one you really think of in the Christmas, but it's a nice greener tint than what was I thinking? Then Glacier has more of a blue. Does that make sense? And then what's really cool about the layers, the Flourish layers, is they sit around the sayings. So you can make them, I don't have these on the block right, but you get the gist of what it is. And because this is not as big and I don't want it as wild, I am going to create out of my little ones here, I'm going to build them on my block. So I'm going to lay them on my mat right here. And this just carries with, oh, come on, doesn't want to stay there. This is just carrying with just a little background filler, if that makes sense. Actually, that block's too big for what I want. And again, I'm going to use the same color because I just want it to be a subtle look. So I'm just filling in and making my own pattern. And I'm actually going to grab another piece of scratch paper here. And I'm tucking my white in there. So it stayed on the white and didn't go on the Seabrook. Does that make sense? Okay. Perfect. I'm glad you're following me. That's awesome. Okay. So we'll put that here. And we are going to put this piece, which is 3/4 by 5 1/4. So 3/4 by 5 1/4. And we are kind of putting it about the 1/2 inch-ish mark right there. And then I have 2 pieces, and you could make this one big, but I just wanted to do 2 small. And they are, they could easily, they're 1 1/2 by 2 1/4. So whatever works for you. And I am going to cut these to make a banner. Just something fun. Okay, and then they're going to go like that. So let's put these down. And I should have done this. And kind of, this is where you definitely would want some repositionable tape, if that makes sense, so that and I already see. I'm going to see if I can get really careful, but this one might, oh, it did, okay. I'm bringing these in a little closer. I didn't like them so large. I thought the red was a little too distracting. So I only wanted a small portion of that showing. I like that look a little better. Now maybe you liked the red a little better. That is strictly up to you, how you want to make it work for you. And then let's go ahead and add our adhesive, and we're just going to center this sentiment in between, so the two. Now if you use one long piece, this would probably be a little bit easier, but because I use 2 pieces of scrap, it's a little bit, you have to kind of play with it a little bit. And then let's add, I think this one, I don't want to add too much, but let's add some fun. And these are just the clear everyday sparkles. I think I'm going to put one up here. And then I think it needs our bitty sparkles also, because why not? That's why we have them, so that we can use them. I'm just double checking to make sure I don't have a package open. Because I've been known to do that before. Start a package and then whoop, I'm already in a package. Now, it only happens to me, right? And then I'm just gonna place these and this is when I actually prefer the stick, because it comes in a lot easier. And this one will definitely have some nice little pops of bling. You maybe didn't need to have the all the big ones, but it just gives you a variation. So there you go. There's the same card pattern in just two different looks. One using the freshly baked, one using the mix-ins and making it more a birthday celebration. Okay, so there's card 2. And card 3 is buried, I believe, on my desk somewhere. Oh, that must be this one right here. If you could see my desk or my workstation, you would be surprised. Nah, you wouldn't be surprised. We all work that way, right? We all have something going on that has lots of creative juices flowing. So I'm just double checking. I want to make sure that I don't have something set aside. Okay. So we have, I know you're going, really again? But this is Seabrook, and we're using the dark side. So it's a 1/4 inch, so it's 5 1/4 by 4. I like the layered look. I think it adds more dimension. This time, this is a piece of the mix-ins, but I purposely cut it so the zip strip stays on, and this piece is 3 3/4 by 3 1/4, and that is going to go right there. And see, it already has its border. It's just an easy, you know, sometimes you have that piece and you just have that extra pizzazz or bump that you want to use. And then I have a piece of French vanilla, and this piece is actually 3 3/4 by 2, and I'm going to stamp this first, and we are using we are going to use a sentiment off the November stamp of the month. Enjoy the magic of the season. And I am going to stamp it in mocha, because I have something else in mocha that I'm going to add to it. So I'm just lightly dancing it on top of my ink pad. And it says, enjoy the magic of the season. And I'm just double checking here, and I need to get in my package of paper. And this is a zip strip, and I'm just going to cut a little bit off, and I'm just going to, oh, wrong scissors. Those are not what you cut paper with. They're the coated scissors. And I'm just going to make a little banner. And I'm going to cut another one. But I'm almost thinking that, I think that's too busy. I am going to grab a piece of scarlet cardstock. See if I have a little tiny piece here somewhere. I'm sorry, I should have had this all prepped, but I changed my mind midstream, right? No one else does that? And stuck to my big cutter. Of course it did, right? Yeah, I like that. I didn't want to compete with, and I'm actually going to use this. I thought that was too much pattern for the card for the 2 tags. So I'm going to run some tape right here, and I'm going to put this down, and I'm going to put this down farther, leave the pattern on top like that. And then I'm just going to trim it up. So yeah, ooh, I like that. So enjoy the magic of the season. And let's do, let me grab my toffee brush. See if I have some ink on here. Nope, okay. And I'm gonna grab my toffee ink pad. And remember to hold it at the top. And I'm purposely rubbing it off on my scratch paper, because I definitely don't want a blob of color to distract. I just want to soften. Let me bring it up. I just want to soften my look. Okay, so let's anchor this on the page, and I'm putting this on first because this one, I made it a little bit longer than necessary depending on your saying. And then again, we'll add this. So you have that. And then from that freshly baked, there is this Darling cookie cutter. It comes with its own dies. It is so cute. Here's the dies that you get with that stamp set. So the stamp set and dies so you can see them. I did a little snowman because I thought he was just way too cute. And this time I am going to take and put some thin, bigger glue dots. Not glue dots. Glue dots. Foam dots. That's what they are. And just add those so that it's raised just a smidge. So it's not much, but it gives you some fun definition. So let's get the finished product here going. Oh, peel it off. And I just used the Aqua Blue Blend Tri-Blend markers, the dark and the light, and then just added a little pink for the snowman's face. And I just thought this was a fun card to get you in the holiday mood, right? And for the life of me, I can't find it. Oh, here it is. Here's the original card. So my original card, of course, has glitter on it. I think I like the gold accent, so let's add some gold around the little snowman, keeping with that toffee look. And I think I'm gonna make sure that people see how cute that snowman is. And then I am going to add a bigger one at my top piece right up here between those two. So that gives you that triangle pattern. And so hopefully you guys liked this version. I also have a bonus. So before I show you the bonus, let me show you the 3 cards we created this time around. So we have some fun to Christmas. You can make them birthday depending on what your saying is, but they give you that fun look. And then to carry on with the theme of the fresh bake, and like I said, these were just trying to use up some scraps. Used some fun cards and showcasing a few different things. So we just elongated the saying and split it in half, wrapped the thread. We all have those extra little circle pieces. Added a fun little banner banner border to it. Same with this one. Now this one I textured. Can you see that? I textured honey butter on honey butter, and this is that I want to say it's Perfectly Imperfect stamp set that has all the textures that I've been using a lot. Then these are just circled, the tiny circles, just added, rounded the corners here, and used that happy birthday. This one I used the thinking of you and the little bigger swashes. Added some of the Scarlet Hearts. I did use an embossing folder on this one. And then I took my gold shimmer trim and I just cut a small strip off, probably cut it in half knowing me, and just it needed something. The stripe and the polka dots were fighting each other, and I liked bringing that pop of gold. It went from being a very flat card to having a little bit more pizzazz. And that's what it's all about. It's all about that added touch of bling, the gold cording. There's lots of fun things that can be created with this paper. So don't get stuck in thinking that you had to make all those cards the same way. One or two, great. Maybe you want all four or all three of each of those designs. That's fine too. But I wanted to show you some fun versatility that would help you think outside the box and get you wanting to play more. And the cool thing about cards is it's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. As you saw through the cards, go back and look at them. You'll see some done in gold, some done in silver, different mediums of that. As always, my website, you can shop and see what's on there. Thanks so much for joining me. Bye, guys.